one thing that developmental editors do, amongst a lot of things, in the marginal comments. That thing is to ask a question every time we don't quite understand something. Where are we? What time is it? What room are we in? How much time has passed? What is that? Have they talked to one another? These are often pretty straightforward questions, and sometimes they get answered by the author relatively quickly afterward. They are not the only kind of comment that developmental editors leave in the margins, but we do leave a lot of them because these comments are entirely about information management, as in what you tell the reader, how you tell them, and when you tell them. Information management is wildly difficult, especially in science fiction, fantasy, and horror, because as the author, you cannot unknow all of the answers to those questions. So even when you reread your manuscript, your knowledge of your world and your characters and the intentions that you had while writing will spoil your ability to understand what the reader gets and what the reader doesn't get at any point in time. And that's why these questions are so incredibly valuable, because they flag every single time the editor, as a reader, feels like they're missing an important piece of information. Usually the editor will then flag when they get that piece of information. Sometimes it's just straightforward, oh, there it is. Sometimes with additional feedback, like, oh, fantastic, it was really exciting to get this answer here. Or, you might have left me hanging on this one a little bit too long, or the context you provided between my question and this answer misled me, and I had started to believe something very, very different, so this feels weird. Editors leave the question in because we want you as the author to be able to learn from those questions. You can look at where that question shows up in the margins, and then you can look at where that answer gets provided, and you can judge whether or not you're okay with the reader not getting it during the period of time that passes. Your answer might be, yeah, I'm totally cool with that. That's fantastic. That means that the manuscript is working exactly as you intended. And your editor doesn't necessarily know your intention because they're not a mind reader. They're just saying, hey, here's this time gap. Are you cool with that? Because there's also a pretty good chance that you'll look at that gap and go, oh no, if you don't understand this until here, then you're going to miss this really important foreshadowing hint I placed in the scene before it. You'll be hard-pressed to find a developmental editor who doesn't ask questions like this in the margins, because we're taught to. We do it for this very specific reason. We are trying to help you improve your information management. Hopefully looking at those questions this way will help you get more out of them, add some perspective, and allay some fears that when you see these questions, it means that the editor is not paying attention, because that is not the case. I'm not saying this because I think my way is the only way or the best way, but just because I think this is a really, really valuable feedback resource. And by understanding what those questions mean and how you can use them to improve your writing and edits, I think you'll get more out of your professional relationship with your editor.